Good evening. It is Dateline, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, uh, February 1, 2018, 2118 0201 2018. Today is the second anniversary of the day Dennis passed away, and 2 years. And people always go, "Oh, I can't believe it's 2 years." You kind of really can't believe it's 2 years. Uh, and I'm just having a glass of champagne. I'm not drinking a lot these days, but I thought I would just have a little toast to him, to Dennis, and to his family and his friends. And, you know, it's hard on all of us. It's weird. I've also got some pizza in the oven because this is what I do, trying to do on his death anniversary is do the things he liked. Which is he liked craft beer. I'm not drinking beer these days, but craft beer, slice of cheese. I have a chocolate chip cookie that he liked, chocolate chip cookies. Um, I was going to go to a movie because he obviously loved movies, but I kind of running out of time. So this is just kind of a little toast to him and kind of reflect back on this day 2 years ago. He was in Rochester, Minnesota. I think maybe it wasn't Rochester. It was Rochester. Quickly we forget. Excuse me. In hospice, and I had left him a couple days, 3 days prior. I was visiting him in hospice, and we all took turns with our final talks, and it was a lovely talk. And I think I'm just gonna kind of make it short and sweet. But well, actually, maybe I shouldn't. A few days prior, it was me and Jackie and Dennis's brother Doug and Dennis, of course, and we're all in his room. And look at this hair bump. So we're all in his room, and he wanted some beer, and he wasn't really talking back then. He was not able to talk. It was more like a whisper, but he was communicating with his head and his hands, and well, not so much with his hands. But he indicated that he wanted his brother Doug to bring some beer in. So Doug brought beer, and he brought one beer in the room. We're all like, "Where's the rest of the beer? Where's the six pack?" He said, "Well, I didn't know if I could bring it in," and so he kind of hid it outside in the bushes or something. So he said, "Go bring it all in." So we're all sitting on Dennis's bed, and we're all drinking beer and kind of each telling stories and giving Dennis beer, I think, either by the spoonful or a straw or something, probably a spoon. And you could tell he was getting tipsy. And it was just, he was in heaven with his beer. And I think it was me or Jackie said, like, "Do you want some more?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, like I want some more." It's typical, "Oh, yeah," nodding like, "Of course." So, and then he burped, which was, I don't think I've ever heard him burp in the 5 years I knew him, 5-ish years. So it was kind of comical. We're all kind of looking at each other like, "Did you just burp?" Anyway, it was a sweet, tender kind of an evening where we all were just being with him and just being with him and his mind and his soul and his heart and everything. It was just a pretty great moment. Because he was just, I think, happy to have us there. And I don't know, even though he couldn't do much, he just was wanting to be himself and have his beer and have his buddies around him and his loved ones. And so I think the next day I had, my talk with him. He talked with his daughter, talked with me, and I think Jackie, and then I drove home after that day that I had my final chat with him for like a couple hours, which is really quite remarkable. And it's just like another awesome, tender moment. But I had to leave, and I drove at a rental car, and I had to drive to, I don't know, Minneapolis airport or something. I can't remember. And just like crying the whole way. Just like I almost couldn't see it. Like, it's like what? Like it's surreal. Like you just. When I walked out of his room, it was like I had my suitcase, and I turned back and I looked at him, and I went back in and gave him a hug and a kiss. It's like, it's just so it's like you have to leave, but you don't want to leave. And it's just so, wow, how bizarre is that? How do you, how do you walk away knowing that that's going to be the last time probably? Anyway, so then I a big blue suitcase and I got in my rental car and drove to the airport and kind of crying the whole way, but I had to keep it together because I was in unfamiliar territory, so I kind of had to kind of keep my wits about me as much as I could. Time for a sip. So I get to the airport and I'm like, everything that was happening was like, it couldn't happen soon enough, or it was just, everything was clouded by tears and by sadness and by emotion, and just everything was just so surreal, and like it was like I was like only one in this world. Everything around me was just, why is everybody being happy? Why is everybody traveling and having fun? And oh man, I hated everybody. Hated people being slow. Hated the clerk at the ticket counter. It was just wow. Kind of just going through the motions. You have enough wits about you to get yourself from point A to point B. So I finally made it to my gate, and there's a little bar by my gate. And I remember this bar, I think I've been there a couple of times through all my travels back and forth, taking care of them, helping to take care of them. So I sat there and I ordered some champagne, like to toast him, just horrible champagne. I had a couple glasses because I had enough time to kill, I guess. Or maybe I just had to be doing something, I don't know. Um, but I just was getting smashed and I was just crying and crying. I just couldn't stop crying. And I got on the plane, I'm just crying on the plane and crying. It's just I could not stop crying. It was the most bizarre, sad, weird experience. But it's something you do, and it's just I wouldn't have wanted it. I wouldn't have not wanted to be there and experience being with him and his family and Jackie and everybody and the whole thing. It's just like, as hard as it was just kind of what you do, It's just kind of what you do. Just kind of what you do. I mean, I don't know how you not do it. Anyway, so that's here we are 2 years later, and it feels like miles away. It feels like miles away. And you go through your life and you keep moving forward, and one foot in front of the other. That first several months was pretty difficult. And then you get better, and then I don't know, but it's sad in moments, in spots. It's not sad like it was the first couple of months where you just like, you're paralyzed. You just kind of like, I don't know, what do I do? Where do I go? What do you do? And but you just keep going. And I'm here now, and it still feels, I saw my therapist yesterday, and she's like, well, kind of comparing then to now. And I said, well, I feel like I'm pretty good, and I'm moving forward, but obviously there's moments of sadness, but I'm not crippled by it anymore. And then I kind of thought about it like, is that bad that I'm not crippled by it? Well, of course not, because you have to be in your life, and you have to be present in your life, and you have to keep moving forward, and you have to take care of other people around you, and you have to take care of yourself, and you just have to live your life. He's not in it, which is pretty sucky. But it's just, I don't know. So I'm here, and it's 2 years later, and you heal and you grow, and you just go on. As hard as that is, you just have to keep moving forward. Not odd, it's just odd. I don't know, it's just kind of but I wanted to do things today that honored him. I didn't want to let that go by, and I'm probably going to do that every year and just make sure I acknowledge the day and acknowledge him. And I sent a text to our assembled text group of all of us that knew him and loved him, and they're all sending pictures through the text and saying, I love you, and blah, 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 stay strong and all that. So that kind of is nice. At least even though I don't get to see those people, I gotta have that I gotta have that text, whether it's the once a year or just here and there you text people or just to say hi, send them a little heart emoji. It's like, you just, it's hard to do with this. The heart, is that the heart? Sort of a heart. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling here. I think my pizza is probably burned. It's probably in there just nice and crispy. But anyway, I love you, Dennis, and I love his whole family and all his LA friends and Jackie and Sam and everybody. So um, we'll see you. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.